allowed me to bring you pepperoni, bacon, chicken wings, and grilled seasoned chicken, all raised without the use of antibiotics. This is our Puro promise, and we invite you to taste the difference.
439 Pizza Nova.
This show is brought to you by L.A. Lombardi, Pizza Nova, Pascale Di Poce e Di Paolo, Lido Construction, and UDI.
Hello once again. This is Joe Volpe, publisher of Corriere Canadese, North America's only Italian language daily newspaper. I'm here on behalf of not only the Corriere Canadese, but Corriere Canadese TV and Corcan Media Group and NOSA TV as well. Today's theme, of course, is a little different in the newspaper. We live in a period of sun kings in Ontario. So, L'État c'est moi is the title of our theme today, except the minor variation, because we're talking about new legislation in Ontario governing municipalities. It's the law, c'est moi. Now, when and if Patrick Brown's tell-all book about his political assassination is released in early fall, the public may get a better insight into the motivations behind the current political drama, machinations, and political turmoil that's unfolding in Ontario. 7 months ago, Brown was running high in the polls as the leader of the Progressive Conservative Party. He was headed for the Premier's chair and a majority government at Queen's Park, the one that's currently occupied by one of his harshest critics and former best friend, Doug Ford. The political apparatus he had meticulously built up turned on him. Ironically, in an age of anything goes sexual morality, allegations, unproven, of sexual improprieties did him in. He subsequently inherited every fault, every sin, every suspicion of nefarious, despicable conduct our citizenry could heap upon him. And his greatest shortcoming? He didn't come across as a strong leader, a strong man. For that matter, neither did Kathleen Wynne. And for that matter as well, neither did Andrea Horwath, nor any other candidates who surfaced to replace him. But Doug Ford did. As is typical in the case with such strong leaders, process becomes an inconvenience, a minor obstacle in the way of an objective near and dear to he or she who wields the scepter of power. The rule of law, so to speak, gives way to the rule of power. Courage, founded on shared rights for all and privileges to none, treads ever more carefully. Among the democratically elected leaders in the Western Hemisphere and indeed Europe, Donald Trump in the USA has power. Matteo Salvini in Italy has it, although less securely so. More tempered leaders like England's Elizabeth May and Angela Merkel in Germany are facing the prospect of losing it. Being at the head of a democratically elected majority in a legislature affords leaders like Doug Ford control of any procedural niceties that constitutions demand as a prerequisite of mitigating negative reactions and indeed even rebellions. Yesterday's introduction of a reformed law to permit what Premier Ford has announced as the de facto rule for the upcoming municipal elections in this case in Toronto are a case in point. Toronto City Council and perhaps a few others may wish to contest the Premier in court. But aside from providing work for constitutional lawyers, well, what Ford has effectively done is accomplish a public humiliation of the leadership in potentially irksome municipalities during his first mandate. Toronto, York, and Peel, secondarily Niagara and Muskoka. In Toronto, councillor will be pitted against councillor. Some of them are mutual friends, or friends and even relatives of the Premier. There is no guarantee that the outcome of the election will result in a council supportive of the Premier. What is probably more certain is that Mayor John Tory, should he emerge victorious, will devote himself to ensuring that the province assume all responsibility for any setbacks that Toronto might incur in the next 4 years. The only serious opponent to his re-election, however, is Jennifer Keesmaat, former chief planner. Although starting at 30% popularity rating, she will probably have difficulty resonating north of Dundas Street. Credible sources suggest she was motivated by both PC and Liberal power brokers to go after her former boss. The Liberals have nothing else to do. In Vaughan, another former senior bureaucrat, Frank Miele, has registered to take on the incumbent mayor, Mauricio Bevilacqua. The latter, once a Liberal, has built alliances with local conservatives. But Miele is part of Ford Nation and one of the first individuals to board the bandwagon. Aside from any expertise that he might bring to the challenge, he is also very close to Minister Tibulo and his Ford Nation team, which includes developer communities not already in Mr. Bevilacqua's team. The Premier will not brook other powerful, i.e. elected, regional representatives like the Chair of York or Peel, and hence Patrick Brown, rehabilitated or not, will have to content himself with the potential mayoralty of Brampton. The bonus is that should he succeed, he too will have to sweep aside a Liberal, in this case, current Mayor of Brampton, Linda Jeffrey. Now, Brown may yet be converted into an ally. Once the details of his tell-all book raised the specter of foul, behind-the-scenes skullduggery plotted by partisans who would not have been friends of Ford. And they apparently run through Ottawa. Signing off for Corriere Canadese and Corriere Canadese TV, and encouraging you to follow us both in hard copy, Corriere Canadese, or online, or Facebook, Joe Volpe, publisher Corriere Canadese, saying thank you for watching.
This show is brought to you by L.A. Lombardi, Pizza Nova, Pascale Di Poce y Di Paolo, Lido Construction, and UDI.
At Pizza Nova, we're leading the way with ingredients raised without antibiotics because we know what you eat matters to you. And you. And you. That's why we're the first Canadian pizza company to bring you pepperoni, bacon, chicken wings, and grilled seasoned chicken, all raised without the use of antibiotics. This is our Puro promise, and we invite you to taste the difference.